Wonderful.
Oh, I hope it will. Helena, hello. You let me well. Hello, hello, Helena, shalom. Nice to see you. Lovely to see you again. Yes, yes, yes. All the wonderful coordination, you know. I know you did. I know. This one. Oh, it's a really good. Get another one. They fall all the time. אין לך סיגות? לא, אין לי סיגות. אבל מה זה ייתן לך גם סיגות? איפה נוכל? אצל יפה, אני אלך לבוא. אולי יש לך לזכור אותה, מה קרה?
Lovely to see you. Thank you. Thank you. This looks terrific. Yeah, mazel tov. When did you do? 9 weeks ago. Mazel tov. Lovely.
This is great.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I can't keep it on. If you've got a pin, thank you. Thank you. And the sunrays as well. You're going to find me pin somewhere. I would like to have a drink.
Mommy, it's fantastic. זה ממש יפה, ועשית גם עבודה מצוין. אני לא ראיתי על אבל זה
את יודעת מה נשברו בסוכר היפים, במכנס מים, במכנס לחם.
טוב, אבל זה הרע,
ברוך השם.
מילל, אנחנו עשינו פה את חנוכת אבן הפינה, אנחנו רואים עכשיו טקס חנוכת הבניין. מה יש לך נגיד? כל הכבוד, יפה מאוד. זה ייכנס להיסטוריה השם הזה. מה את מוסיפה?
אני מוסיפה שאני מתרגשת מאוד, ואני מקווה שכל פסגת זאב יכולים
To enjoy, ליהנות.
ליהנות מזה ושזה יהיה מקום מצליח מאוד. תודה.
בוקר טוב, הם באנגליה.
We were caught in a terrible accident on the road. I got stuck on the road. I didn't get in, that's why we're here. What about city time? Wait a minute. Because there is a big congratulations for you.
Okay.
All your family is here?
Yes, everybody's here.
I visited Susie Bradfield in London to make a condolence visit when her husband died. And I just told her about her work here in Pisgat, Ze'ev, and that there is a necessity to open a community center. And Susie herself offered to have it built in the name of her late husband and herself. So today, after 3 years, we live to see this moment achieved. Thank you, Susie. Wonderful.
Raya?
Very thrilled to be here at this wonderful centre.
Happy day.
Thank you. Gute Tabia.
Wonderful.
I'm losing weight all the time. No.
Well, I want to say it's been a wonderful joint effort. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. There are no words, really. Fantastic.
Thank you.
I must say this is a very exciting day for all of us because this is yet another service that we are giving to the people of Jerusalem and especially to the people of Pisgat Ze'ev. We hope that this house will always have lots of activities, that the people will enjoy, and that Wizo will be very proud of what he did. And Susie and her family will derive a lot of naches from this beautiful project. And thank you, Susie. Okay, I'm very good. Shalom, shalom.
Mazel tov.
I will see you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Susie, they just want to know you and me for immortalizing it.
Thank you.
Okay, so that. Okay.
Lovely. Well, all right. Are you already from the Tel Aviv bus? Oh, so they're here. Wonderful. Go and have a drink. We'll see you inside. Okay.
אל תן לי, אל תתדפק עליי.
Excuse me a minute. The other one.
לכי להצטלם בווידאו, שעושים צלם בווידאו למעלה, שיהיה בתקופה.
It's spoken better now. Oh, Rita! Go on, you're going to meet everybody in there. Go on, say it. You see each other? Yes. Oh, you came together. Thank you. Really an honor. An honor. A great honor.
We have a small present. We brought you something specially for this occasion and for that occasion. But it's heavy, yes, you have somebody.
I want to say that I'm very, very excited today, very happy that we're opening the Wizo Center in Pisgat Ze'ev in the name of Freddie and Susie Bradfield. With their generosity, with Susie's generosity and their children, we are opening today's center that will give a lot of activities to the people of Pisgat Ze'ev, for women, for children, for youth, for one-parent families, for Olim Chadashim, and I think that it's going to be very important for the community here in Pisgat Ze'ev. This is going to be our sixth center in Jerusalem, and as the chairman of Wizo Israel, it gives me a lot of pleasure today. Thank you very much for the information. I'm very happy. I'm missing I came for the Tel Aviv Museum. Today is the opening of all the discussions, but I made my mind that this is more important because my friends are my friends, and I love the family. And I'm very happy to see this beautiful building with the lovely names on it, Brady and Susie, and I hope that I'm sure it will be a very, very useful center for the community.
I'm very fortunate because I had this privilege to be with all my friends from Wizo to inaugurate this beautiful center. And I can only say one thing. I wish that there would be at least one more Wizo organization, because what they are doing for us in Jerusalem is just unparalleled. I have almost a fixed day, at least once a month, on my calendar to inaugurate something that Wizo is doing in Jerusalem. It's great. I'm very appreciative, not just on behalf of myself, but on behalf of all the Jerusalem people that enjoy so much the wonderful social services that Wizo provides to our children.
And we appreciate your work for Wizo, your help for Wizo, and the possibility you give us to build so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Baruch to Adonai Helena melech haolam, asher k'dishanu b'mitzvah v'tzivanu likbar mezuzah. Olmert. Hey, Zeev, Binyan,
אביאס הגול המשיח בקרוב תידון, אמן.
Amen, amen, amen.
Alberto, this you do the third. The second one.
To fix the third mezuzah, ladies and gentlemen.
We haven't got the second one yet.
ברוך אתה מיכל העם אשר ישבת כאן לקבוע מזוזה.
אמן.
Why in the wrong way? Let's go לכיוון פנימה, לא?
Ernie, look at him.
Why not?
Just a minute. Just stick it. Just a minute. Right. Okay.
You can watch it.
השקט שלנו, נתבצע וצמור, לגבויה, וסוזו. מזל טוב.
Not put your fingers only on the outside. This way. Yeah.
Like this?
Okay. Yes. And fetch. Amen. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to the unveiling of the flags here on this floor, ladies and gentlemen. The unveiling of the flags, please.
Okay, and now how do I open this? Okay, you do that one, I'll do this one. Okay?
Jerry and Alberto Emanuel.
Shall I read it? Would somebody read it?
To stand in front of the entrance door for cutting the ribbon, please. Everybody facing the entrance door.
כולם ביקורת.
No, you cut it. בשעה טובה. Okay, so shall we now proceed upstairs? Thank you. Yes, for Simon Rice. Mr. Simon Rice.
ברוכים הבאים למרכז על שם פרדי וסוזי ברדפילד בפסגת זאב. קהל נכבד, ברשותכם אעבור לשפה האנגלית לכבוד התורמים והאורחים מחו"ל. It is an honor and privilege to welcome you all to the inauguration of the Freddie and Susie Bradfield Wizo Center in Pisgat, Ze'ev. Mr. Ehud Olmert, Mayor of Jerusalem and Member of Knesset, Mrs. Raya Jaglom, President, World Wizo, Mrs. Michal Modai, Vice President, World Wizo and Chairman of World Wizo Executive, Member of Parliament, Mr. Ariel Weinstein, Mrs. Ruth Sotnik, Chairman Wizo, British Wizo, Mrs. Tzvia Weinstein, Chairman of Wizo Jerusalem, Mrs. Susie Bradfield, Mrs. Tova Hadani, Head Building Property and Development Department, Mr. Rafi Makhtabi, Executive Director, Pisgat Ze'ev Administration. I welcome especially the delegation of British Wizo, Mrs. Judy Goldcorn, Co-President, British Wizo, Mrs. Esther Matlow, immediate past president, Canadian Hadassah Wizo, members of World Wizo Executive, members of Wizo Israel Executive, members of Wizo Jerusalem Executive, Jerusalem Municipality representatives, relatives, and friends of the Bradfield family. The great scholar Rabbi Dov Soloveitchik said that the words Jerusalem and Zion are not synonymous. Jerusalem signifies the spiritual Jerusalem, while Zion symbolizes the material and political Jerusalem. While you, dear Susie, are establishing a magnificent Wizo Center in Pisgat Ze'ev, you are building and enriching the earthly Jerusalem, and are adding spirit and vision to the celestial Jerusalem, which is a great privilege. The house which we are dedicating today will be a house of learning and a source of comfort. All this was possible thanks to your foresight and your generosity. The prospect of Wizo Israel is to establish Wizo centers in neighborhoods which will meet the needs of the local population in keeping with Wizo's aims. We have 5 Wizo centers in Jerusalem, and the Wizo Center we are dedicating today will contribute to the provision of vital services to surrounding inhabitants, new immigrants, and veteran citizens alike. The program designed for the house's activities is multifaceted and meets the needs of local residents. We hope that our volunteer members, along with well-trained professionals in various fields, will reach great heights. We at Wizo Israel are committed to breathing life and spirit into the beautiful halls of this dwelling and to transforming it into a center which will glorify Jerusalem's and Zion's reputation alike. Therefore, we are so indebted to you, dear Susie, and to your son Michael and your daughter Cheryl. We can only pray that just as you have had the privilege of being able to give, you will have the satisfaction from this great gift that you are bringing today to Jerusalem. And my blessings to Jerusalem, our eternal capital. Peace be within thy walls and prosperity within thy palaces. Yehi shalom bechelech, shalva barnotayich. Wizo has always given priority to setting up institutions and services in Jerusalem, our capital city. And in fact, this is the city in which Wizo has the largest concentration of projects. I know, Mr. Mayor, that in the period since you have taken office, you have learned to know and to appreciate the activities of our movement, and I thank you for your effective cooperation. We are grateful to you, Mr. Olmert, for your understanding and willingness to assist us in the operation of the Wizo Center in Pisgat Ze'ev for the benefit of the community. I call upon Mr. Ehud Olmert, Mayor of Jerusalem.
Mrs. Susie Bradfield and the Bradfield family, which apparently is one of the largest families I've ever met. I can see that you have your children here, you have all of your relatives from every city in Israel. Wonderful, and I know some of them. Mrs. Raya Jaglom, President of World Wizo, Michal Modai, Vice President of World Wizo, Mrs. Sotnik, Chairman of Wizo Britain, Tzvia Weinstein, President of Wizo Jerusalem. By the way, the member of Knesset, the real Weinstein, is her husband, and not the other way around. I'm sorry. We are in the same faction in Parliament. But when it comes to Wizo, she's the leader in the family. Mrs. Glazer,
distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is true that since I took office about a year ago, I think I registered in my calendar more events with Wizo than perhaps with any other organization. And what can I tell you? I love Wizo, and I love what you do in Jerusalem. And please impose on me every week, every month, such events. Please, I'll be the happiest man. These are not easy days for Jerusalem, obviously, as you all know. And we are facing perhaps even more difficult times in the near future. And the big battle for the unity and integrity of Jerusalem as the undivided eternal capital of the Jewish people and the state of Israel has practically started. There are two different fronts. One is a political front, which must be fought with vigor, with courage, with determination, with dedication. And I'm sure that the Israeli people and the Israeli government, of which I'm not a great supporter normally, but I absolutely trust their dedication to Jerusalem and to its unity and to its destiny in Jewish life. And therefore I support their actions in Jerusalem because I believe that we are all serving the same purpose. There is another aspect to this battle, and this is the day-to-day battle in the life of the city, what we do and what we don't do, and how dedicated we are, and how firm we are in setting up the reality of life here, which will guarantee what we want to achieve. And Helena said before, quoting Rabbi Soloveitchik, that there are two Jerusalems, the spiritual Jerusalem and the material Jerusalem. Whichever way you look at it, maybe the other part of this battle is the material Jerusalem, and which we have to protect and which we have to build and develop and expand. And without using high words and emotional rhetoric, I really and genuinely is full of appreciation for what Wizo is doing. You are strengthening Jerusalem. You are really strengthening the city. You are helping us to provide human and social services to many, many families, children in different parts of the city. And this is enormously important in strengthening the city, in building it, and in making Jerusalem what we have to, which is the center, the capital, the undivided city, the physical center, the material center, and the spiritual center of the Jewish people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This new center is one of the many which was established with the encouragement and support of Mrs. Raya Jaglom, President of World Wizo. This is an excellent opportunity to thank you, Mrs. Jaglom, on behalf of the Wizo Israel Federation for your efforts in obtaining the generous contribution from Mrs. Susie Bradfield for the establishment of the Wizo Center in Pisgat, Ze'ev. Since there are over 31,000 residents today in Pisgat, Ze'ev, it was important to establish a much-needed Wizo Center which could provide services for a heterogeneous population. Wizo Israel is deeply grateful to you. I call upon Mrs. Raya.
בוקר טוב, אורחים מכובדים מאוד. כבוד ראש העיר, מר אולמרט, Susie, darling of Wizo in England and in Israel, distinguished guys, all my colleagues who are sitting here, right and left, and a special welcome to the British Wizo, led by the chairman, by Ehud, Sotnik, And I would like to shake hands with every one of you, especially with Susie Bradfield's family. A son, a daughter, a son-in-law, daughter-in-law, the children, a brother, and as the mayor said, two brothers. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad it made you all smile and laugh. Thank you, Helena, for the nice introduction, but I owe here a little bit of correction and only in one respect. It is 3 years ago that I called on Susie Bradfield in London to pay a condolence visit after her beloved husband, Freddie, passed away. And I did not come to ask for a donation, nor did I come to suggest anything. But I came knowing how much Susie had at heart Wizo and our activities in Israel. I told her that now we're doing this, now we're building daycare center in Pisgat, Ze'ev, and as the chairman of Jerusalem, Wizo, en passant, told me they would like to have a community center. I said, what we really could use very much now for the 30,000 inhabitants is a community center. And Susie herself said, with her dignity, generosity, and a wonderful Jewish heart, I want that center in memory of my husband. It's true, Helena, I've had many donors to whom I go to ask and beg, appeal and explain why we need this institution. But Susie is the only one who offered it herself. And for this, Susie, Wizo is most endeavored and grateful to you for having built this. You've come for the cornerstone laying, and we didn't believe that today we will here open this home in the name of Freddie and Susie Bradfield. And I asked for a curriculum vitae CV of Freddie, who we knew so often in London and in Israel. We met him. We had the privilege to see how loving and caring he was for Susie at the time when she was ill. And we admired him greatly for being such a wonderful husband to Susie. But when I read the CV, Susie, you both actually had very much in common in your childhood without knowing it. For Freddie left Vienna after he saw the Anschluss of Hitler of Austria to Germany. And you, Susie, came to England with a Kindertransport from Berlin to London. You both escaped the Second World War, the Holocaust, thank God, and you met much later. And this partnership between the two of you lasted 42 years. A real, marvelous, happy marriage, loving couple, loving their children and their adorable grandchildren. Freddie, at the age of 1941, joined Lord Mountbatten's company in India, Burma, and in the Philippines, Singapore, and then came back and was in charge of the prisoners of war camp in Germany. He was a man who loved mankind. And he's a man who was honored and honorable by all. Honored by his partners with whom he worked, honored by his friends, and definitely by his family. He was a great friend of Wizo's. We remember how he supported you in London in your work. When you started even with a small group, Hanita, when you started in fundraising. And I know one person who admired you and loved you and always considered you a very dear colleague, and that was Elaine Blonde. And you worked with her for so many years in fundraising. And since I'm mentioning Elaine Blonde, I have a message to give you from Lady Zeev, who asked me to tell you how much she regrets not to be here today, but she sends you her congratulations, appreciation and gratitude for what you have done here. We know Susie for many years. We knew that she was the backbone of fundraising in England. We knew that when she took upon herself something, not only she fulfilled it, but she succeeded and she looked forward what to do more. And we do hope, Susie, that with the establishment of this community center for the citizens of Pisgat Ze'ev, which will help a lot the Jerusalem branch, you will go on serving not only in England, but also in Israel, the people of Israel. And I have not enough words of gratitude to you to tell you how much we admire you for being one of us, for working with us, for being so close with us, and for giving us this community center finally as a real, not token of appreciation, but as a monument to both of you, to you and to the late Freddie. On behalf of the World Wizo Executive and all our colleagues, Jerusalem Wizo, Israel Wizo, I would like just to give you a present, which is the same sculpture we gave to Lady Thatcher when she came to open the daycare center in Sderot. And this happened at the, Susie, if you come here, I will present you with this beautiful sculpture. It's a bit heavy, you'll have overweight, but it doesn't matter, it's beautiful. It's exactly the same like we gave Lady Margaret Thatcher when she came to the opening of the daycare center. I hope you have such a beautiful home. I'm sure that you will find a nice place for this. And I want to thank one person here. I have to do it, because it is with her help that we have built in the last years many, many institutions, and that is Tova Hadani. Tova Hadani is the head of our building department. And there was a time when one suggested she should be replaced. I said, if she's replaced, I'm not building. I'm not going to ask for donations. I'm not building. She is my backbone for building, because whatever she undertakes, she carries out. Tova, תודה רבה עבור המוסד הנהדר הזה. Susie, you have gone back too quickly because I have the key to this institution for you, so that whenever you come, you should be able to come and open it with your own key and feel at home here. So please. This is the key which we offer you. So Susie can just come and open when she is in. To Mayor Olmert, who is already enchanted with us and feels already our weight in Jerusalem and is asking for more, may I offer something that will be on your writing table, so that not only remember when we invite you to openings, but something that you can look at and say, ah, that's Wizo. It's, I'm sorry. And this we have in Wizo a Legion d'honneur that I call, and that is the Wizo pin for men. So I hope the mayor, when he leaves here, he will wear it. I don't know whether he'll always wear it, but at least today he will wear it so that I need some help. That's it, bravo. Now, עכשיו אני אעשה את זה. הופה, לא, לא, לא. Okay. I'm not Mitterrand, and I'm not giving this as a Legion d'honneur, but being the president of the organization, it's my honor to give you this pin. בדיוק ההפך. בדיוק ההפך. ככה. יש לך. תפסת אותי. רגע, זהו.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And to Michael, you're getting the same pin, and you will have to help in the same way like the mayor of Jerusalem.
proud of your mother. Cheryl. Oh. We know.
I must apologize and excuse myself. Unfortunately, I have another ceremony starting at 12:30, so you will bear with me, and I apologize.
And thank you.
I apologize to Susie and to all of you, and I only wish myself and you that we'll meet again in similar circumstances.
Susie's daughter is active in Wizo Milan and has already organized the Wizo group in Milan, and we would like you to carry the Wizo pin there and show it to all your members and friends that now you're really one of us. You've seen it at home, you grew up with Wizo, and now just go on doing work together. Thank you very much. Bettina, the daughter-in-law. No. Alberto, please show up. We have to finish the job. It's not easy to see. We'll have to work for a bit. Thank you very much. And to British Wizo, all the delegation sits here. Please, when Susie comes home, give her a big job, make her work hard. She will do it.
Thank you, Raya. I am sure that Michal Modai, a native of Jerusalem and a friend of the Bradfield family, is thrilled, as we are all, on the opening of the Wizo Jerusalem New Center, which is an important addition to our existing projects for the welfare of the residents in this capital. I call upon Michal Modai.
בוקר טוב לכולם. אני מתנצלת בעיקר בפני כל חבריי, חברי סוזי, שעליי לדבר באנגלית. הייתי שמחה לדבר איתכם ככה תת-a-תת בעברית. Good morning to you all. Honorable Presidium, the Bradfield family, Susie, Michael, Cheryl, and all the family, and the brothers, British Wizo. Yeah, we saw you. One can't avoid seeing you. British Wizo delegation, members of the World Wizo Executive, Israel Wizo, Wizo Jerusalem. I must say that as a Jerusalemite, I do feel very, very excited this morning. There is no doubt that for every Jew around the world, here in Israel and around the world, strengthening Jerusalem is one of the main aims of all of us. I don't want to deal with politics, what should be done with Jerusalem, but we all have no doubt that every new project that is being built in Jerusalem, and especially in the suburbs around Jerusalem, adds yet more strength to this city. Coming here from Tel Aviv, going past Ramot, Givat Ze'ev, I could not but think to myself how clever the past mayor was, Mr. Teddy Kollek, who saw the importance of building up not only Jerusalem, but its satellites. And Wizo, throughout the years, gave a hand in building daycare centers, youth clubs, women's centers, whatever we could, we did for this city. And we are all delighted with this new and wonderful project, which for the Bradfield family will be like a second home in Israel, although they have already another home here in Israel, in Tel Aviv. But now you have the key to Jerusalem, and I'm sure you will have a lot of naches from this project. To British Wizo, I would like to say, you have added yet another pearl to your crown. You can be very, very proud of everything you have done throughout the last 75 years in Israel, through Wizo. And now this project, I'm sure, will give you a lot of stimulation, a lot of pride. I'm sorry the mayor left, because I was going to tell him that through this wonderful cooperation of Wizo and the municipality, just 2 weeks ago we opened, not actually opened, but we renovated a youth club which we reopened in the Katamonim. He promised to look for a donation so that it would be completed. And when he was there, he realized the importance of this cooperation. And maybe he left, well, I'm sure he left because he had to leave. But I'm sure he was also happy to leave because he knew I would nag him about it. But in the long run, he knows that Wizo's nagging is only for the good of his citizens, the citizens of Jerusalem. Susie, my dear, I don't think that you could have chosen a better place or a better project in order to memorize the name of Freddie. I would like to say a few words as a friend, not necessarily as Wizo, because we've known each other for many, many years, long before I knew how important Wizo is for the people of Israel, nor were you so involved with Wizo Great Britain. But already then, I got to know both of you. When your children were so young, and I couldn't say what wonderful people are going to grow out of that family. But you and Freddie were always very special. And all the friends who are sitting here can vouch for what I say. All the beautiful parties in the penthouse in Tel Aviv. You both as wonderful hosts, as wonderful human beings. All the friends sitting here are not surprised that you have decided, Susie, that this is a beautiful way of showing your love for Israel, your love for Wizo, mainly your love for the people in this neighborhood. I wish you and your family a lot of naches. May you know no more sorrow, and may you enjoy this beautiful house, knowing that you are bringing so many smiles to so many people who need this place, because this is going to be a place full of activities, and knowing that your contribution is so important will give all of you a lot of satisfaction. Thank you, Susie, in the name of the World Wizo Executive.
My dear friends, we have so many distinguished guests here that I overlooked and I didn't mention and welcomed Lady Jacobovich, the wife of the former chief rabbi of England, and today I understand she's the president of Emunah in England. Welcome. I hope that all of you had a chance to see the building and have admired its aesthetic and practical form. I would like to thank all those who helped in bringing the project to this point. First, to Tova Adani, who got already a lot of compliments, but she deserved it, the head of Property Building and Development Department, to Mr. Abraham Orlansky, Director of the Property Building and Development Department, to Mrs. Nurit Polak, Vice Chairman of Organization Wizo Centers, to the Wizo Jerusalem members who put a lot of work and a lot of thought of how the place should look, to Mrs. Esther Levy, architect, to Mr. Noah Rappaport, contractor, to all of you, we would like to express our deepest gratitude. It gives me now great pleasure to call upon Mr. Michael Bradfield, who will speak in the name of the Bradfield family. Michael,
well, I was going to say Mr. Mayor and Chief Rabbi, Rabbonim, Rebbetzin, distinguished ladies of the world, Israel and Great Britain, Wizo executives, my mother, distinguished guests, relatives, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I know it sounds just like the opening of a speech at a family simcha, but that is just what this ceremony really is. We're particularly delighted to have here today so many of my parents' close friends and relatives from all over Israel and England and elsewhere. And we've even brought the weather along with us. Not, I'm referring to the torrential rain over the last few days, but to the sun that always shone on my parents' simchas. They were always muzzled at weddings, bar mitzvahs, bris, bat mitzvahs, bat chayils, even, sadly, funerals. So I knew it was going to be nice today, even if everyone else brought their umbrellas. We are primarily here today to celebrate the work and the achievements of the worldwide Wizo family, and to honour my parents' 30-something years of involvement with Wizo. I'm particularly pleased to see today so many familiar faces representing the various executive boards. Frankly, they always seemed to be around in one way or another whilst I was growing up. They became firm friends with my parents, sharing hopes and aspirations as they became more involved and committed over the years, moving up the ranks of Wizo as my mother did. During the 42 years that my parents were married, they became more and more involved with Israel, eventually establishing a home here. Their love for Israel and the many friends they made here was largely due to my mother's involvement in Wizo, which has so enriched all our lives. Who are these Wizo friends of Mum's? Do they run Israel? My sister Cheryl once asked when she was quite young. The answer, of course, is yes, they do run Israel. They're just too busy to govern it. Wizo has by far the largest individual membership of any Jewish organisation in the world. As such, it is virtually unparalleled, being actively apolitical but resolutely Zionist. Its membership encompasses the total spectrum of political and religious viewpoints, which is unique, frankly. It never lets itself become embroiled in the often passionate political debates and soul-searching that is so endemic of both Israeli and world Jewish life, but always strives to be inclusive. Everyone is made to feel welcome. In previous years, one would describe it as a toughless organisation. Nowadays, we would say it adopts a resolutely proactive stance. Either way, having identified new needs in the community, it calls in its experts, creates its programs, raises the money to fund them, and simply gets on with the job. Its programs are almost invariably ongoing, and therefore every new project adds to the cumulative funding burden put on World Wizo, to say nothing of its building maintenance requirements. That is why Wizo's partnership with World Jewry is so important. Over 50% of all Jews under the age of 25 now live in Israel. And the very reason we are here today in Pisgat Ze'ev is simply because Israel's population has grown so dramatically in recent years. But Wizo's influence goes far beyond fundraising and coffee mornings by the national committees. World Wizo members are involved, extremely well informed and passionate about improving the lot of women and children everywhere. They develop strong friendships with their Israeli counterparts and vice versa. The incidence of Aliyah among Wizo families is disproportionately high, and their children spend as much time as they can here in Israel. And being mostly Jewish mothers, they naturally pass on their strong family and community values to their children and grandchildren. Virtually all Jewish communal and charity leaders, both in Israel and abroad, have had these values passed on by a committed Wizo mother. Indeed, Wizo women are usually found at the heart of all other Jewish charity and communal organisations, in addition to their Wizo responsibilities. The buzzword of the moment, as I hope many of you have heard, is Jewish continuity, or as Chief Rabbi Jonathan Sachs sums it up, will our grandchildren be Jewish? More than any other Jewish organisation, Wizo is the living embodiment of this continuity. Its members actively pass on their values and communal responsibilities from generation to generation, educating their children to carry on their work. Less than 8 years ago, in response to the unprecedented influx of new immigrants, the government and the Jerusalem municipality conceived of and designed a new suburb to be built here from scratch in an impossibly short period of time. As usually happens in Israel, the impossible was completed 6 months ahead of schedule, but the plumbing was 6 months late, and we don't mention the electricity. People flooded in today, and today, just a couple of years later, it is a thriving, bustling and cosmopolitan community of nearly 35,000 people, bulging at the seams with old and young, immigrant and Israeli. Within 2 years, it is, I am told, it will be the largest suburb of Jerusalem, bigger than Ramah. The Jerusalem municipality, not being content with simply building a brand new quarter, felt it essential to provide a warm and personal welcome for the new residents of Pisgat Ze'ev and to provide them with essential social services. Normally it takes years to evolve the essential linked support services and relationships that characterize a community. In the case of Pisgat Ze'ev, it literally needed to happen from day one. To whom could the municipality turn with complete confidence to provide such services? It went to Wizo, of course, primarily because of its long and successful experiences in all types of community and personal development. In a new departure for both the municipality and Wizo, but one that I'm sure will be repeated elsewhere in the future, this piece of land at the centre of the development was designated as a centre for community services to be planned, built and operated by Wizo for the benefit of the new residents. It is surely a tribute to both Wizo and the Jerusalem town planners that, notwithstanding the extraordinary events happening in this area, this centre has been designed, built, equipped and opened in such a short time, with its Wizo programs coming online as soon as it was ready. I do not need to remind you, of all people, that we are living through the most exciting period, even if the pace of change is often somewhat daunting. Eastern Europe and the CIS have opened its gates, and over 20% of world Jewry is now able, for the first time, to come on Aliyah to Israel. In the 3 short years since my late father passed away, the political and geographic map of the Middle East has, quite literally, been redrawn. Long-standing enemies have signed peace agreements that will forever change the psychology, perceptions, and prejudices of all the people of this ancient region. Unfortunately, the Sinai Agreement demonstrated that just because people cease to be enemies does not mean that they automatically become good friends. The challenge today is to encourage Israel's former enemies to become meaningful partners in developing the Middle East for the safety and benefit of all its inhabitants. Equally, who can predict the future needs of this thriving new community, even a mere 5 years down the line? All we can be certain of is change itself. Wizo has built a superb centre for community services here in Pisgat Ze'ev, one that the whole family is proud bears the name of my parents. The overriding design brief given by Tova Hardani to Esther Levy, the architect, was that it had to be as flexible and adaptable as possible to cope with the changing needs of its residents. As their requirements change, so the programs and help being offered by Wizo will adapt accordingly. What will never change will be the welcome, the smile, the practical advice and the helping hand for everyone who comes through these doors. Wizo's continuity of involvement through its ranks will ensure that there will always be enthusiastic and trained teams on hand dedicated to make every resident feel important and a valued member of the community, so enriching their lives and in turn, Klal Yisrael as a whole. On behalf of the Bradfield, Eman and Brett families, we thank you all for the most wonderful honour you have bestowed on my dear parents, Susie and Freddie Bradfield, and wish this centre and Wizo the success it so richly deserves.
Michael, what a speech. I would like to welcome again the members of British Wizo. You'll be welcome the whole morning, who came especially in order to be present at this important ceremony. Many of the Wizo centers in Israel, which you used to call women clubs, but we call them Wizo centers in Israel, are sponsored by British Federation. It is therefore a great privilege for us that today, as we are inaugurating another center, we have among us Mrs. Ruth Sotnik, Chairman of the British Wizo Federation. Thank you very much for your very valuable and continued support. I call upon my very dear friend, Mrs. Ruth Sotnik, to address us.
Madam Chairman, Mrs. Jaglom, Mrs. Modai, dear Susie and her family, distinguished guests, including, of course, Lady Jakobowicz, who I must tell you is also an honorary Vice President of British Wizo. I cannot think of anything more inspiring for a Jew in the diaspora than to be able to give to the city of Jerusalem this wonderful community centre, which I know will be called a beacon for the future. Such great fortune in life has fallen upon our dear and very special friend, Susie Bradfield. Susie, supported by your children, you have enabled a centre to be created which epitomises everything which Wizo stands for: high expectations, high standards, and a caring helping hand wherever it is needed. This community centre will bring to all those who use it not only the opportunity to study, the opportunity to learn new skills and to improve old ones, but also the opportunity to play a role in the formation of this centre as the soul of this vibrant young community. Susie, by this generous act, you have immortalised your name and that of your late husband, Freddie, in this eternal city of Jerusalem, to which over the centuries, Jewish heads and hearts have turned from all over the world. You're bringing to Pisgat Ze'ev a centre of happiness, of fulfilment, and of hope for the future. British Wizo, the mother federation of World Wizo, which has just celebrated its 75th anniversary, sponsors some 180 projects, from Metula in the north to Eilat in the south. And to this impressive list, we proudly add the Freddie and Susie Bradfield Community Centre. Susie, of course, is the epitome of the ideal Wizo woman, totally dedicated to Israel and to her fellow Jews, and is, of course, unstinting on their behalf. In the footsteps of Rebecca Seif, She not only preaches Zionism, but she practices it, and has had a home in Israel for many years. Susie, your many, many friends and family are thrilled to be here today with you, to celebrate together, and to remember with affection your dear husband, Freddie. And also, of course, to pay tribute to you, not only for your generosity, but for being the delightful person that you are. You are always so warm, kind, and of course always supportive. And Raya, I can assure you that Susie is not retiring now. On this special day, and by this dedication, you have added to the building of Eretz Yisrael, and by doing so have underlined the vitality and the strength of the close, warm, and everlasting links between those of us in the diaspora and Israel. Susie, this day will be remembered by all of us in British Wizo as your special day. The day you gave part of yourself, your energies, your willpower and your soul to this challenging area of Jerusalem, to Pisgat Ze'ev. On behalf of all of us here today, we thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. One of the happiest women here today is Mrs. Ze'ev, who strove to open a Wizo center in this place, where the need is so great. Ze'ev is dynamic and dedicated chairperson. I changed. I wrote chairman, but I was afraid she was going to say something. The chairperson of Wizo Jerusalem. She's always coming up with new ideas and initiatives. I'm certain that under her leadership, the center will flourish. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Wizo Jerusalem Executive, to Mrs. Chava Keidan, General Secretary of Wizo Jerusalem, to Mrs. Mazal Goldstein, Director of Organization Wizo Jerusalem, and to all the other staff of Wizo Jerusalem for their efforts and devotion. I call upon Mrs. Ze'ev.
My dear friend Susie Bradfield, Cheryl and Alberto, Michal and Bettina Bradfield, the dear brothers of Mrs. Bradfield, Mrs. Jaglom, Mrs. Modai, Helena Glazer, Mr. Sharabi, the director of Pisgat, Mr. Mahtabi, also from Pisgat Ze'ev, my dear friends and colleagues from Wizo Jerusalem, Israel, and World Wizo. Very dear guests from England and Israel, good day to you all. Recently, I attended an opening ceremony of the Center for Treatment and Prevention of Violence Toward Children, where our mayor was a guest of honor. In his speech, he made his point that voluntary organizations are especially efficient and their contribution is essential in areas where the establishment is unable to fill the need. And I agreed with him wholeheartedly. And that is where Wizo comes in. Wizo, as a women's movement, has taken upon itself to advance the status of women in the community, to improve the self-image of certain groups of women, their education and skills. This aim is not only in the best interest of women, but of the community as a whole. Advanced women are usually better mothers, make better families, and for a better society. Our centers are one of the means to do it. I hope that this center, which Susie and her family have given Wizo, the city of Jerusalem, and particularly the inhabitants of Pisgat Ze'ev, with so much love and caring, will fulfill all the hope we bestow upon it. We already are operating this house, clubs for the elderly, classes in Hebrew for the Olim, and a big variety of classes and courses for children. And we are programming a very intensive work to work with women and adults, and I'm sure that we will stand by this program. It depends on us, on Wizo, the people of Pisgat Ze'ev, and the authorities of Jerusalem to make it a home and a place of enrichment for the women, children, and elderly who will enter its doors. And from the few occasions that I met with our mayor, I had the feeling and the impression that he has an open ear and a will to help. I thank you very much, Susie, for making it all possible. Thank you, Michal, Bettina, Cheryl and Alberto for sharing it with your mother. I hope this place will bring honor to the name of Freddie Bradfield of Blessed Family, whom I wish I had known, seeing the love and devotion you show for him. Thank you, Raya, President of World Wizo, for your initiative and leadership and for making the shidduch with Susie. Thank you very much. Thank you, Helena, Chairperson of Wizo Israel, my boss and friend, for your support and for your fighting spirit. A hug of thanks to my colleagues, workers and volunteers alike in Wizo Jerusalem, who devoted not only unlimited working hours, but also their much love and caring needed to put the house to its present functioning condition and beautiful looks. Thank you, Tova, and your department for just building the house. Many thanks to everyone in Wizo and World Wizo who took part in the birth of the Susie Freddie Bradfield Wizo Center for Community Work. Thanks to the students of Wizo Art Schools and to Tamar Levin, the chairperson, who donated their works to beautify the place, and to the Jerusalem Foundation, which donated the large lithographs of Israeli artists. Thanks to Esther Leary, the architect of the building, who designed not only a building, but a home for people to come and enjoy. Thanks to the builder and workers who built the place against all odds, and the least but not last, to my husband, who stands by me and with me all the way. So you see, this place is a creation of people, of many, sorry. So you see, this place is a creation of many people for many other people. Together, we hope to succeed. Thank you all for coming today to share with us this exciting day and place. Thank you very much. I welcome our Chief Rabbi, Arav Lau. My dear friends, as it happens, and we thank many people, I forgot to thank Mr. Hanoch Bod, the technician who is in charge of this building. And thank you, Hanoch. Our partner in this project is the Pisgat Ze'ev administration. I'm sure that productive cooperation between us and the administration will continue in the future as well. I call upon Mr. Rabbi Maktabi, bevakasha.
ברשותך, כבוד הרב הראשי, הרב לאו, אורחים נכבדים, 10 שנים מלאו לשכונת פסגת זאב 10 שנים שבהם חיים תושבי השכונה הצעירה, התוססת והעצומה הזאת בתור אתר בנייה אחד גדול.
Chief Rabbi Lau, distinguished guests, 10 years ago, his name is Rafi Maktevi, he's the head of the administration here. 10 years ago, the first group of people came to live here, and since then it's starting to develop.
קצב האכלוס בשכונה מדהים בהיקפו ובמהירותו. בניית המוסדות והתשתיות מפגרת אחרי קצב האכלוס בצורה משמעותית. במהלך השנים הללו נאבקו התושבים על זכותם לקבל מעיריית ירושלים ומממשלת ישראל שירותים מינימליים לשכונה צעירה בהיקף כזה.
The increased population here has been given. I'm trying to find out what exactly he means by it, but he tried to approach the municipality and the ministries to give them the necessary services to maintain this place.
ועד היום חלק גדול מהתנאים עדיין לא ניתנו.
Until today they were not given. That understood clear.
ויצו הייתה למעשה הארגון היחיד והראשון שמיהר להרים את הכפפה. הם הקדימו את העירייה ואת משרד השיכון ואת חברת המתנסים והקימו בשכונה מעונות יום, ואנו היום חונכים את המרכז הקהילתי הראשון של השכונה.
Wizo was the only one which started putting up institutional services here, daycare centers, and today this beautiful center here for the whole population.
וזוהי תרומת הגברת סוזי ברדפילד באמצעות ויצו.
And this is the gift by Mrs. Susie Bradfield, thanks to the Wizo organization.
בשם התושבים והמנהל הקהילתי אני רוצה להביע את הערכתי העמוקה והכנה לגברת סוזן ברדפילד על תרומתה לשכונה ולויצו, על מאמציהם בתרומתם להקמת מוסדות לקהילה בפסגת זאב.
He brings his gratitude and appreciation to Susie Bradfield and to Wizo for this institution here for פסגת זאב.
אני רואה במרכז קהילתי זה חלק ממערכת שירותים שהמנהל הקהילתי שאני עומד בראשו מרגיש מחויב כלפיהם. אני מקווה ומאמין ששיתוף הפעולה בין ויצו למנהל הקהילתי יתרום גם בעתיד לשיפור איכות החיים בשכונה.
He hopes that this center here, which will give services to the whole population, will make the necessary steps to increase the activities of this community.
בשמי ובשם חברי ההנהלה, אני רוצה להודות לראש העיר, חבר הכנסת אהוד אולמרט, שעושה מאמצים רבים לקידום פתרונות למצוקות שכונת פסגת זאב. אני מקווה שמאמצים אלו יישאו פרי במהלך השנה הקרובה.
He's also thanking the mayor of Jerusalem, who's left us, and he hopes for more and better services for the administration here.
תרומות אלו יהיו לטובת השכונה ולא פחות למען חיזוק מטרופולין ירושלים שפסגת זאב בשל גודלה והרכב אוכלוסייתה הצעירה עשוי להיות מהמוקדים החשובים שלו.
This increased services will be not only for the benefit of the administration here, but for the strengthening of Jerusalem as such.
לסיום, אני מבקש פעם נוספת להודות בשם התושבים לגברת סוזן ברדפילד על תרומתה.
And once again, many thanks to Susie Bradfield for the very wonderful donation.
It is a very great honor to introduce to you the Chief Rabbi of Israel, Rav Israel Meir Lau. Rav Lau's numerous and distinguished accomplishments are very well known in Israel and throughout most of the Jewish world. Let me say that Chief Rabbi Lau is a spiritual leader who is admired by all of the segments of the people of Israel. Chief Rabbi Lau, we are privileged that you have come to speak to us today, and we welcome you warmly. Bevakasha.
Dear, so I don't have to repeat all the names.
which I want very much to repeat them all and to give each of them a private attention. Mrs. Chairman, dear Mrs. Bradfield, may I say, גברת יגלום, גברת מודעי, גברת ויינשטיין, גברת סוטני, גברת גלזר. All the representatives of the Bradfield family, Rafi Aftabi, all the members of the days, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, guests from England, from abroad, all over, Yerushalayim, Bruchim Aba'im B'Shem Hashem, in the head of my dear lady, Lady Emily Jacobowitz of Great Britain. We read exactly this week portion. We read in the Torah the portion of Vayetze. What do we have there just in the beginning of the portion? We have the dream of our ancient father Jacob. What was the dream? About a ladder. A ladder set up on earth, and each reaches, the edge of it is reaching heaven. Then he awoke of this dream and said, this is Beit Elokim. This is the gate to heaven. I saw a ladder set up on earth, reaching heaven. This combination of earth and heaven can be only in one particular place, Eretz Yisrael, Beit El, V'zeh Sha'ar HaShamayim. The Jewish outlook is that our life all over consists on these two principles, on these two fundaments, if you want. Set up on earth means materialistic means of existence. But it has to reach somewhere. The target of our life here is spiritually, to reach heaven. Without this ladder, if one of these two edges of the ladder is missing, our life is not justified as a Jewish life. Coming to Eretz Yisrael, to come back, Jacob made it after 20 years, since this dream, till he came back home. Veshavti veshalom el beit avi. I come back in peace to my father's land, to the promised land. It took him 20 years. Us, it took 2,000 years to come back. Veshavim varim v'kulam. 20 years ago, look on these hills here around you. What did you find? Mountains, rocks, hills, a desert. 2,000 years that we dreamt about this particular place, about this spot of Beit El and Sha'ar HaShamayim, the gate to heaven. We came here because of our prayers, because of the tears of our mothers. But we know the secret. That just praying, just asking, just weeping, you can't build a homeland. You can't build a nation or a land. We need a basis. We need some fundamentals. You, Mrs. Bradfield, family of Bradfield, your friends, Wizo, give us the answer of the very need to establish this center for children, for all social problems of the society, which might be solved, at least partly, within these walls of the center. I don't have to tell you about the very speciality of the Jewish home, of the Jewish mother, social life, taking care for the other, looking for the other, to see his needs and what can I do. If you remember, the dark in Egypt, 3 days and 3 nights, as it is described in the book of Exodus. How does the Torah describe the dark in Egypt? Lo ra'u ish et achiv. They didn't see one, his brother. Velo kamu ish mitachtav. They couldn't stand up. 3 days. This is a description of a dark that I didn't see my brother. Dark like it was in Egypt, like we understand. You don't see your own fingers. You don't see your face in the mirror. What does it mean, lo ra'u ish et achiv? And what for a connection has it? Dark, lo kamu ish mitachtav, they couldn't stand up because of the dark. Maybe they were afraid to stand up. They didn't see around themselves. But what does it mean? This is a morally, a spiritually dark. Lo ra'u ish et achiv. They didn't look one to the other to see what does he need, how can I help him. This was the dark in Egypt. Themselves, they saw very well. They were very, very selfish to take care everyone of his own needs. But lo ra'u ish et achiv, to look at your brother. Maybe he needs something. Maybe he is crying with shouted lips. Velo kamu ish mitachtav. They didn't stand up even when they knew already that the brother needs something. They didn't make a step towards him, to help him, to support, to hear, to listen at least. This was the dark. Velivnei Yisrael, the children of Israel, haya or bechol moshvotam, was enlightened all their settlements. Wherever they were, Jewish homes was a light. What is a light? Just the opposite, just the contrary to the dark. Means to look after the needs of my brother and to stand up and to offer him some help if I can. You are doing it so nicely, and we can only be full of gratitude to thank the family of the Bradfields, Wizo in England, the world organization of Wizo that opened here in Pisgat, Ze'ev. Beautiful building, and I hope that the inside of it will not be less than the outside view we have seen entering to this building. תחזקנה ידיכם ויישר כוחכם ותזכו לבריאות איתנה לאורך ימים ושנים רבות נעימות וטובות. כל הכבוד למשפחה על כל שלוחותיה, all the branches of the Bradfield family. כל הכבוד לסניף האנגלי, הבריטי, של ויצו, הגברת ויינשטיין פה, את הרבנית יעקובוביץ' הזכרתי, וכל היתר. וכל הכבוד לויצו שלנו, הנשיאה העולמית וסגניתה, שהיא נשיאת הנהלה כאן, כולם פה איתנו, לחוג את החג הזה של פסגת זאב, שהוא חג לכל בית יהודי. הידיעה שיש אוזן קשבת, יד מושטת ולב פתוח לעזור ולפתור תחלואי החברה, because only yesterday we were told, unfortunately, that there are so many people here in poverty, below the line of poverty. Among them 279,000 children. 279,000 children below the line of poverty. So a day later, to come here, to have the light in the eyes and the warmth in the hearts, knowing that we have a bridge of friendship and love and partnership with diaspora, taking care for those who suffer of poverty and the problems which it creates. We are very happy to welcome you and to say just one word. Toda Rabba.
Many thanks for your moving words, which are an inspiration to us all. May you continue to fulfill in good health your task as our spiritual leader. זה היום עשה השם נגילה ונשמחה בו. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. It is your day, Susie, and we are all anxious to listen to you. בבקשה, סוזי.
First of all, let me thank Rabbi Lau for coming here, for honoring us with his presence, and for putting a wonderful seal on this meeting. I don't really want to repeat what has been said. Everything has been said, I believe. So my son has made his speech for me, and I'm very proud of your speech, Michael, and I agree with everything you've said, and I hope that you will take it. And all I will do today is just to add my personal thanks, although most people have been thanked already, but I'd like to add my personal thanks for the people responsible for this beautiful house. I'd like to start with thanking, of course, Raya Jaglom for making the shidduch, as somebody said, and also for your very kind words, and the fact that it all started with a sad visit you paid me, but out of most sadnesses comes something positive, and this house is definitely the positive thing that has come out of. Secondly, I would like to thank my dear friend Michal Modai, and you've actually said what I've actually written out here for me, but I'd like to repeat it. Michal and I and her family and my family have been lifelong friends, and she has always shown an example to me of how to be a devoted Wizo worker and still run a full family life. And for that I thank you, and I hope that our friendship will remain for many, many years to come. I would like to thank Tova Hadani, because with her together with her team of building and property department for Wizo, for putting up this building so efficiently, and watching every shekel to obtain the best value. That was not easy work, and I want to thank you really from the bottom of my heart. I hope you too will derive a lot of pleasure from this wonderful center in years to come. To Ze'ev and her colleagues here at Wizo Jerusalem, for all their efforts in planning this center, and for the future running of all the activities, as well as the furnishings of this house, as the go-between of Wizo and the municipality of Pisgat, Ze'ev. I know it wasn't easy. It took a lot of legwork, and you've done a wonderful job, all of you. The Wizo Executive of Tel Aviv for their continued support, and in particular Deborah Redlich for collating today's proceedings. Thank you very much, Deborah. I would like to thank our wonderful architect Esther Levy I don't know where she's sitting, but she must be here some. Oh, Esther. Esther's done a wonderful job with such devotion and with such love, and she has actually interpreted exactly what we need here, and the result you see. And Esther, I hope that you too will have a lot of nachas in years to come from this building, from this center, because I know how much of yourself you have put into it. Thank you very much. My thanks go to the municipality of Jerusalem and the community of Pisgat for providing this beautiful site. Thank you. I was also going to thank Mr. Ehud Olmert, but I did thank him before he left for his efforts and for his future efforts of looking after this project and for the beautification of its surroundings and for the city of Jerusalem. I'd like to thank the builder, the Kablan, I'm not quite sure of his name, Mr. Rappaport, who kept on working in this house even when things were very difficult. And in the times when we had no when we had no workers, he still managed to find the odd worker. Where is it? Thank you very much, and you delivered the house on time. I would like to mention our lovely Dalit and Mazal, who will run this center for us, and I'm quite sure that with their experience and their talents, they will make a wonderful job in this house, and they will fulfill all the requirements that we would like to see fulfilled here. Thank you very much. And lastly, I cannot let this moment go by without thanking and paying credit to my very dear friend and colleague, Judy Goldkorn, who is with us here today. I'd like you to stand up, Judy. Now, Judy brought me into Wizo and immediately gave me a responsible position and in the organization, and I think that many years ago, immediately putting me in a position of responsibility, thereby ensuring my continuing work and continuing obligations to Wizo of Great Britain. Well, you did. You know you did. And I hope that I've carried out my work in Wizo, England I've done it with great love and with great loving kindness, because I like the work, I like to be with my colleagues, and I've made many, many friends. I see many of my colleagues here, whom I'm very grateful to you for coming, and I appreciate it. I've seen Molly, well, I won't mention names, but all this section here are colleagues of mine from London, and many, many thanks for coming and being here with me today. I now have one more, well, not thanks, but one more request. Officially now, I'm handing over this house, which will be known as the Freddie and Susie Bradfield Community Wizo Center, to Israel Wizo to run and to look after and to administer with great love and loving kindness, to be a haven for all the people who will walk through here and who will seek a little bit of learning and benefits for themselves, enrichment, and to make their life a little bit more present. Please treat them with great chesed and loving kindness, and then this house will be alive for us forever. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to dedicate the next song
to all the women of Wizo, but especially today for Mrs. Susie Bradfield. Eshet Chayil. La 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 la.
לשנה הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה בירושלים הנויה, 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 לשנה הבאה בירושלים, שנה הבאה בירושלים, שנה הבאה בירושלים, בירושלים הנויה, שנה הבאה בירושלים, שנה הבאה בירושלים, שנה הבאה בירושלים, בירושלים הנויה, ושנה הבאה בירושלים, בירושלים הנויה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, בירושלים הנויה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, בירושלים הנויה, לשנה הבאה אוי בירושלים, בירושלים הנויה, לשנה הבאה אוי בירושלים, בירושלים הנויה. ובאו האורחים בארץ אשור והנגעים בארץ מצרים, ובאו האורחים בארץ אשור הנגעים בארץ מצרים, והשתחוו לשם בהר הקודש, והשתחוו לשם בהר הקודש, והשתחוו לשם בהר הקודש, והשתחוו לשם בהר הקודש, בירושלים, 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 Thank you very much.
כאשר נבוגר כולכם המתאפקים במוסד הזה, ותשכו לעשות רק טוב וחסד לכל יהודים שבארץ, ונזכיחו לנו לביאת הגואל מלך המשיח בקרוב תידון. אמן.
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody is invited to please go downstairs for lunch, please.
We have been very happy and delighted to participate at this great function which is leading to a Sudas mitzvah, because in this building will generate and will grow chesed. Und b'schus chesed, what we Jews are doing, both here in Eretz Israel and also in the Chutz La'aretz, will Bikarov bring to all us Jews the final and the endliche Gula Shlema, bebinden Beis HaMikdash und bebias HaGol Tzedek Mashiach and David Bikarov Tidon. Amen.
We are happy to be here to celebrate the opening of Susie and Freddie's Over Sholem, the home in their name. And we are sure the home will give chesed the same as Susie and Freddie always did. And we wish it every success. It is wonderful to be here.